Okay, I took a little break from the past episode, like a half an hour break. But now I'm ready to make a new episode. Hey guys, it's your Bo the Doggo, and welcome back to Winds of Change, episode 14. And as you can see, we're on a boat, and we are on our way to Alarynthia, the lands where Ulrich originates from. I'm curious if Silas also originates from here, since he had like the same tribal tattoos over his body as Ulrich does. Because as Vitsi said, as I mentioned that I talked to him a little bit in the last video, the main character or the playable character took mention of this, that they have the same tattoos. So there has to be something about it. I mean, what else would they put in the game? Like give him the tattoos and also make us notice it. So maybe we will find out in this episode. But yeah, it's time to go to Alarynthia. So let's go! Also, if you're watching episode 14 right now and you're not subscribed, you should be subscribing by now, because that's just courtesy. Help me get 10k, thank you. The boat is rather large and it can easily fit all of us. Wasting no time, as soon as we're on, they prepare to set sail. Pirates run about the ship, making last-minute preparations. I even see Milos on board, and that slightly surprises me. Oh yeah, they said in the last episode that Milos was there, but we never talked to him or saw him or anything, and I want to know how he reacts to seeing his dad. Or his dad's corpse or body, his dad being a vessel. I'm curious about that. However, before I'm able to say anything to him, the pirates takes charge. Their leader steps into the middle of the deck and shouts orders.
Come on, you can all do better than that. If you want my favor in our new nation, then get to work. A competent crew would already have us halfway to Alarynthia.
That's rude, and also why won't all of her dialogue show here? Oh, there it is. Okay, okay, I guess will get it out myself. Her crew nod and get to work, exactly as instructed. It seems that her authority was respected, as harsh as she was. It's understandable that they want the favor of the new ruler. I walk to the center of the ship and slowly inspect my surroundings. It's a bit packed, but that's because nobody went to the crew quarters yet. I could tell from the outside that this place has more than enough space. As soon as Darmic sees me, he runs towards me. A few more people follow behind him. More introductions? I guess it's fair. I mean, I hadn't met many of the rebels yet.
Monarch, we're almost ready to set sail. Here's the people I wanted to introduce you to. It's important for morale that you get along with our forces.
True.
However, these aren't just any rebels. These are the Monarch vessels you created back at HQ.
Oh.
They've embraced their new situation and want to meet you. So, I'll leave you to that. Come find me later if you want to chat. Something tells me there won't be much else to do. Oh well. Worst case scenario, we can get Pro to bring out his cards.
With a smile, he runs off to attend to other businesses. Even though he stepped down, he was still a busy man. I wonder if that was the same fate that awaited me. Probably. I turned to meet these new people, ready to make friends.
We were told that you were the one who gave us life. Thank you for this chance, Monarch. We will not waste it. This form requires some adjusting, but we will be fine.
Oh, she's cute.
The pain may be intense, but it fuels our every move. We will use it to kill the Triumvirate by your command.
Yeah.
That is the wish of every member of the monarchy.
Cool. So, are these like monarch spirits? So, like spirits from the spirit vessels? Or like the spirit realms? And now, so they are not like the people that died aren't in their own bodies, but they are like sailors, I would assume.
We trust your judgment until the end of Alestia. And after this war, we dedicate our lives to serving you. This second chance you've given us, we will cherish it.
Oh, that was actually what I was hoping for, that they will see it as a second chance. So that's good. That's good. That's good. Now I feel better about my choice. I nod, dismissing them. It's good to see that things went well. Honestly, creating monarch vessels could have gone horribly wrong, and fast. To know that I used the blade efficiently gave me great pleasure. I continue to walk along the ship, taking in everything I see. After a few steps, I notice Ulrich and Pro are lost in conversation.
Stop whining, Pro. This trip will be over before you know it. I have my complaints too, but there's nothing I can do.
But you're not scared of the sea, Ulrich. Oh,
No.
This is gonna be like torture, I know it. Do you know where I can find some buckets?
Aw, Pro.
Getting queasy already? We haven't even set sail.
Oh man, you're making it worse.
I laugh and continue walking. More of my comrades are talking among themselves, and that's good, because we had a long and most likely boring voyage ahead.
But that's not Salus, right? He's been dead for a while. Oh man, I'm worried for Milas.
It's weird to see him alive, but I also know it's not really him.
Are you even listening to yourself right now? I can't believe we can say these things and mean them. Like, what's going to happen with no more Spirit Realm?
Who knows? Everything we knew was wrong. At the end of the day, maybe Valenorth will be fine. I don't see how some prison could have kept it warm.
You're right, and that's amazing. Let's push all this weirdness aside and agree on that. We'll ask Salus, Howl, for sure, when we get the chance.
Of course.
It seems that they're still digesting these events. I can't blame them. Everything is pretty crazy right now. Thankfully, we would have plenty of time to continue digesting. Alarynthia was almost a day away, so at least we would get to sleep. But until then, I better make use of this time I have to talk to my friends. A lot happened the last day, so I should check up on them. The ship shakes slightly and I lose my balance for a moment. I guess we're setting sail. I've never been on the sea before. Pirates run amok, as if getting to the designated workstations.
Alright, everybody, here we go. Don't forget your schedules. We need a smooth voyage. Anybody who slacks off will have no place in my new nation.
She climbs up the rope, nesting on the side of the ship. She looks at the horizon. With a smile on her face, she points towards the vast body of water before us.
To the seas we go.
Woo! Her crew repeats this, as if it were a mantra, before we set sail. I guess this was it. We were on our way to secure an Alarynthia alliance. Oh, hearts to hearts with everybody? That means that I will get 4 hearts with Fortem, and then we can do the loyalty thing when we get back to the room. Cool. Oh, a banter between Salus and Milas? Let's look at that first.
You are not my father.
Do you say this to inform us, or to console yourself?
Huh?
This question was self-explanatory.
It's just... I should be mad at you. Furious. You defile the memory and likeness of my father.
Aww.
Do we? It seems that Salus was an honorable man. Are we not carrying out his final wishes?
What?
The freedom of Alestia. The destruction of the Triumvirate. When you look at it that way, it seems as if we defile nothing.
I don't know.
What are you wishing to know?
I want to know how I should feel right now. This is just so bizarre. I have no idea what to do. Back in Valenorth, things were so simple and easy.
Why must you do anything? You could mull over this development for years, you know. At the end of the day, you should do something more useful.
Like what?
This is not for us to decide, but have no worries. We will take care of this body, and using it, we will do everything we can to honor your father.
Thank you. I'll let you know if I think of anything. This might take a while for me to understand.
Very well, but please remember this. Lack of understanding is not a fault. In fact, it can be a strength. You flourished even though you did not know the truth of the spirits.
You're right. I think I need some time alone. I'll be down in the crew quarters, Howl.
Okay. Let's go from left to right then and start with Darmic. Oh, so these are the crew quarters. Cool. Darmic sits in a bed, staring down at the pendant I saw him hold back in the HQ. He had faced death and came out on the other side. That would change any man. But what happened when he was gone? That's a question that's been on my mind. I approach cautiously, careful not to startle him out of his reverie. When I get close to him, he looks up at me, making no effort to hide his tears. Aww. He finally had time to process everything that happened back in those tunnels.
I was such a fool, Monarch. Shane tricked me. I was careless.
Aww.
I should never let him get close to me.
Oh, Darmic, no! Don't be sad, no! You're making me sad.
He knew my weakness and exploited it.
Oh, no!
It made me so happy to see him again, and I thought I was finally ready.
Weakness? What does it mean?
Will you have a seat with me, Monarch? I guess I should tell you the truth of what happened. From the sidelines, I must have looked incompetent. I mean, I'm trained in combat, you know. I should have been able to avoid Shane's dagger with ease. It's what they're all thinking, even if they don't say anything.
With my interest piqued, I sit down beside Darmic. He puts the pendant into one of his pockets and turns to face me. I could tell that his crying spell was over. He was more calm and collected.
Back during the occupation, my parents were killed. I saw them murder my father with no hesitation. Blood. Everywhere. After that, my mother took my hand and tried to find us some shelter. We didn't make it very far. We saw all the bodies in the town square, mountains of them. The ground was full of blood, almost like an ocean. If you look closely, you can still see some of the stains, even today.
Oh, wow. This seems unrelated to Shane's attack, but I sit and listen. He told me he'd tell the truth, so I should see where this goes.
My mother made a judgment call and did something risky. What's the one place they would never look for survivors? That's right. Amongst the corpses, covered and crushed by them. I was crying, but she helped me get underneath a bunch of bodies. She played dead and lay on the outside, holding my hand as tight as she could. I remember how she kept telling me that everything would be okay. That soft whisper.
Wow.
She didn't make it very long. They found her and stabbed her over and over. I felt her wince every time. The grip of my hand got tighter and tighter. Then, after a while, it just let go. I got to feel her final moments.
This is so sad.
The voice telling me that everything would be okay soon went silent. I was left there, under a pile of bodies, covered in blood. The last embrace I remember, the last time I held a hand.
Oh, so that's why you don't want to hold hands with anyone, because the last hand you held was your mom's. No.
It's not something I could ever do again. It just reminds me of that day. Now you understand how Shane made me freeze in fear and surprise. He was the only other person I told this to. He used that to trick me.
Aww.
And he would have killed me too, if it wasn't for you and Howl. I was finally ready to get close to somebody again. And then this happens. That's how I know Shane wasn't just acting. He played dirty, and he wanted me dead.
Aww.
There was so much running through my mind the moment he stabbed me. I thought perhaps he was trying to win over the triumvirate so he could get more intel. But then he stabbed me again. And again. I knew that the man I once knew was gone. They did something to him while he was imprisoned. They won him over. I don't know how they did it, but they turned him into a completely different person. We must never let another one of our allies fall under their thrall. Never.
I nod, agreeing with Darmic. But that was a horrible story. Going through that as a child? His aversion to physical contact makes perfect sense now. And Shane is an awful person, having taken advantage of that. Startling Darmic, making him relive those moments, and killing him. That was despicable.
Sorry for dropping all of that on you, Monarch. I just needed to tell somebody. It was eating away at me. And I trust you. I know you'd never do anything like Shane did.
Never. Never. You see, Shane is a bad boy. I am the goodest of boys. Shane is the baddest of boys. That goes without saying. However, the room soon falls to silence. Darmic fidgets awkwardly, clearly nervous.
Well, I guess that's enough to kill any conversation. Like I said, I'm sorry for dropping all of that on you. Anything else you need to say to me while you can?
Not everybody will hurt you, Darmic. Opening up is a good thing. Say nothing, offer your hand and comfort to Darmic. Oh, I wanna do that. I'm sorry that happened to you, that's awful. Honestly, I'm speechless. Say nothing, offer your hand and comfort to Darmic. To show him that he can take the step that he haven't done with anyone, with me. I say nothing and offer my hand to Darmic. In response, he winces and moves a few inches away. I'm not sure what I expected, but it just felt right in the moment.
I'm sorry, Monarch. I'm just not ready.
Oh, okay. He gulps and gives me a nervous smile.
It means a lot, though. It really does. I just have to put this barrier up for my own benefit. I don't want to hurt you either. If that makes any sense.
I guess.
This is war. I almost died back in the Rebel HQ. If I did, can you imagine the pain you would feel? Getting close at a time like this could be disastrous.
He smiles and gets out of the bed, and I do as well. I could tell that he was ready to end this conversation.
Well, shall we call it then? I think this is as good a time as any. Let that new information process for a while.
Okay.
When it comes to my past, that's about it. From now on, we can look to the future. I hope it's just as bright as I picture it.
With that, he walks away from me and back up to the deck. I was glad that he liked me enough to tell me about his past. It was my duty to never take advantage of that, like Shane did, because he's a bad boy. Next up is Howl. Oh yeah, we will have Pro in the end. Yeah, we're gonna feature Pro. Howl stares into the ocean, deep in contemplation. I imagine that he'd have a lot to think about, and a lot to process. Last time we talked, he seemed conflicted about whether or not he fit in.
Monarch.
He turns to face me and gives me a small wave, welcoming me. I stand beside him, and we stare off into the ocean together. The sun causes it to glister, sparkling with a gentle beauty.
We're still conflicted. These thoughts won't go away. Visions of needless violence and senseless destruction. You may tell us that they aren't real, but we are unsure. The emotions that well up within us are far too real. Is it possible for fake events to elicit real emotions? Or are we perhaps hearing echoes of the past?
Echoes of the past? What does it mean?
Let us phrase it differently. You know visions, yes? The monarchy used them to guide us to the best possible future. How can you know that best possible future without trial and error? There would still be many futures left unseen and many pasts avoided. Knowing one true course of action requires disregarding millions of wrong ones. What if we are simply seeing these many avenues, almost like our visions have evolved? If not evolved, then perhaps gotten muddled. Rather than see the one important future, we see everything. We do not know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, Monarch.
It kind of makes sense when you think about it. Seeing the best possible future was like one side of a coin. The other side still exists, and is left covered up, unseen. Many wrong futures, many wrong echoes made. The mind likely blocked this out for a reason. Maybe he's sensitive after escaping his prison.
If this is true, then we exist unbound from time. A string in a labyrinth, with no one holding the other side. No one to tug, no one to guide us in the right direction. No one, of course, except for you. Our visions may be useless at the moment, but are yours. We would recommend that you try inducing a vision, Monarch.
Oh?
Not right now, of course, but in your own time. However, when you do, we would request a favor. If you see the future, embrace it, but also look into the past. The future you see blossoms from choice and consequence. Look back at those choices made and conjure up the choices unmade, the loss, the heartbreak, the death. Maybe then you will know what pains us.
He's plagued with bad visions. He no longer sees one future. He sees everything, and that's a curse that I would wish upon nobody. I can't even imagine how many times he's seen us all die. And for what?
There is only one thing that remains constant throughout these visions. Yourself, the Blade of Exodus, and the death it feeds off of. There is something self-serving about all three of these things.
The triumvirate. The triumvirate. The triumvirate. The triumph.
You always have that blade, and the people around you always die. When they do, it's almost like that makes the blade more powerful. It's like there's an essence released from our bodies when we pass on. But is that the essence of life, or the essence of death? Perhaps that is a choice the wielder of the blade must make. What do you think, Monarch? Is that energy life, or is it death?
When we die, I think our spirit is released. That's our life. If the energy is released when we die, then it's made of death. No, I would say that is our life. The life energy that is released. Rather than it's a death energy. No, I would say I want to think it's like it's a glass half full or half empty. I guess. No, it's that's our life.
An interesting thought, to say the least. If it's up to the wielder, at least we know where you stand. That blade is such a mysterious thing, and it grows ever stronger.
Yeah. He's almost cryptical, telling me what I already know. I know that the blade deals with the spirits of its victims. The Triumvirate used it to create their own massive army. Even if it kept a portion of every soul, it would get stronger with every kill. That, combined with the power of the monarch inside. Immense power. A bit ironic if a portion of everybody the Triumvirate killed was used to end them.
We wonder if you possess this ability as well, to see the past, even when you stand in the present. Is that a curse meant only for us, or a gift to be further honed? It eludes our understanding, and we wish to know for sure. When we come back to the mainland, please return to Valinor. Close your eyes, concentrate on the past, and talk to your comrades.
Oh, interesting. Will that be like the vision I had in the beginning? No, that can't be it.
Do they speak as they do now, or as they did back then? We think that this answer will be very enlightening for us. And if it is, then maybe you can understand our plight. How do we know where we are if our surroundings fluctuate? What if we already had this conversation, and this is but an echo? Perhaps we reside at the end of time, simply witnessing our demise.
Okay, now he's lost me.
Sorry, we must appear insane. It's just hard, not being grounded in the present. The one downside of visions, being lost in time. Dreaming of that brighter future, and ignoring the present, looking back on the past, and focusing on our mistakes. We experience this tenfold, even mistakes we did not make. When we see your death, we feel pain. A pain worse than death, the loss of hope. That blade falls to the ground, coated in your blood.
Okay, you can stop it there.
Comrades scream in agony as they befall the same fate. Then why do we stand there, only capable of watching? We wish to help you avoid this fate. That is our duty. We apologize for the lack of sense, Monarch. Your time is more valuable than that, limited as it is. Perhaps next time, we will make more sense of everything. But try not to forget our advice and our request. We know there's a purpose for all of this. There must be. Together, we will find it, rather than stand here and complain.
Good. I nod before leaving him behind. He was suffering, I could tell. I had enough trouble dealing with visions of the future. Howl must feel torture. If there was anything I could do to help him out, I'd have to do it when I had the chance. It's possible that his body just doesn't know how to handle all of that energy. I was trained at a young age to handle it, so I had a grasp on what I should be doing. Is it possible that, unless trained, someone's mind could be lost in the sea of time? Maybe that is what would happen to if we made the army of seers, that their minds would be like this, lost in time or something. Perhaps, I suppose, but that's a topic for another day. I returned to the deck of the ship, keeping watchful eye on my comrades. On my watch, they would never meet the grisly fate that Howl had witnessed. For a moment, I decided to stare into the sea, watching the waves and ripples. I could have looked ahead, to the future, towards Alarynthia, our final destination. But for a moment, I considered looking away from the path we set in stone. The sea continues to move, living its life on its own, despite our interference. Okay, next up is Fortem. Heart to Heart 4, and then we will be able to do the loyalty thingy with Fortem. Fortem paces around the deck of the ship, deep in thought. Everything's changed over the last few days, so this was insane. I hope he's handling it well. I better go see how he's doing.
Hey there, Monarch. There's something that's been driving me insane. You know how we were all freaking out about Valenorth?
Yeah?
Without the heat from the spirits, it'd freeze over and die. I mean, we believed it, but right now, it doesn't make any sense. The spirit realm is a prison, right? Nothing mystical or beneficial. It matches up with what people outside of Valenorth were saying. We were just superstitious and lived in a unique location. The monarchy gave us visions, and nothing more. We'll have to ask Howl the moment we get the chance. If it's like I think it is, then Valenorth will be fine. No risk at all. As hard as these truths are to believe, they do have their benefits.
True. In talking to me, he stopped his pacing, and he looks happy. It's true that a lot of our beliefs were shattered, but that's not a bad thing. A new understanding of the world gave us a new angle to tackle our problems with.
At least it'll make my leadership of Valenorth a lot easier. The one major problem I had to take care of, completely eliminated. I couldn't ask for anything better. It's almost like one last gift from the spirits. Let's just hope we get lucky like that in Alarynthia. Securing an alliance with barbarians sounds super difficult. They're stubborn in their tradition, just like Valenorth is known to be. But their tradition isn't steeped in the spirits like ours was. At the end of the day, will they even care about any of this? They almost live a world away, untouched by our problems. No point worrying about things out of our control, right? Maybe we should talk about something we do have power over. Remember that climbing gear Pro gave me money for? Well, check it out!
He wanders over to a bag on the deck and reaches inside. A few moments later, he produces some clawed metallic objects. It appears that there's one pair for your feet and one for your hands.
They're adjustable, so you can wear them no matter what. You don't need to look for a foothold anymore. You can make them yourself. As long as you're strong enough, there's nothing you can't climb, Monarch.
Cool.
I know what I'm doing as soon as we get back. I'm heading to Valenorth and climbing the Grand Tree. I want you to join me. It'll be a good place for you to learn.
So you're gonna climb it with those things and I'm gonna climb without anything? Cool.
I know what you're thinking though. Why would I learn to climb on something so difficult? Well, you have gear now. I never did. It's a huge advantage.
Oh, so you have gear for both of us?
The only thing holding you back will be your energy. But with everything we've been through, this should be simple. I think it'll only take a few hours to climb, if I'm totally honest. I'll bring us a backpack with a bunch of water. Or maybe we should split that over 2 backpacks. Don't want to make one of us carry too much weight.
He puts the climbing gear back into the bag, clearly excited. It's a breath of fresh air to hear him talk about the stuff so passionately. Everybody else is concerned about war. It's nice to just push that aside for a moment.
Anyway, it'll be nice to make some history together. Not many people can say they've been to the top of the Grand Tree. Maybe we'll start a trend, a sort of coming-of-age thing, you know?
Oh, yeah. You will not be a man before you have climbed the great tree. I don't think I've ever seen him so excited in a long time. It feels like all of my worries have simply washed away. They've slipped into the ocean, becoming nothing more than gentle ripples. Fortim starts to walk around the ship again and stretch his body. It's almost like he was preparing for a marathon of a lifetime. Of course, this had been a lifelong dream of his after all.
I know there's so much danger in our future, but there's happiness too, you know? Lots to look forward to in the end. Besides, I doubt I'll be key to our Alaryntian alliance, so in the meantime, there's not really anything else I can do. I've been practicing my climbing on the netting of the ship. People are worried that I'll fall off, but I tell them not to worry. It's very rare that I fall off, and I usually shake it off pretty quickly. I saw some of them get together and make some betting pools.
Wow.
It's a pretty boring voyage, so they make their own entertainment. I suddenly start to know why pirates enjoy fighting and gambling so much. When you're out at sea, there's just nothing much to do. It's pretty crazy. I'd go insane if I were a pirate. I just know it. After this war, I think I want to settle down on the mainland. Sailing isn't for me. I can say that with absolute certainty.
I'm not sure if this life is for me either. It's just different. Valley North was a completely different atmosphere than any of this. Even Mazaya was a bit of a culture shock to me and my friends. I can't even imagine what Alarynthia and Balteus would be like. I look up to the horizon. We must be pretty far away. There was no sight of land ahead. How much farther to go?
Sorry for rambling on, but yeah, there's nothing else to do. I bet the other people will be able to keep your interest longer. But before you go, I have just one question to ask you.
Shoot. He stops stretching and walks right up to me with a sly smirk.
Do we make it to the top or do we fail? What's your bet, Monarch? And no refusing. We're on a pirate ship, so we need to act like pirates.
I say we make it all the way to the top and make history. I say we try our best and don't make it all the way to the top. No, we're gonna make history.
Optimism? I love it. The other pirates didn't share that trait. They seem to actually look forward to failure. Though I guess that would be fun to watch. Can you imagine if I fell on the netting into the sea? They'd probably stand by and laugh rather than help. I guess we can figure that out when the time comes. Which, as I'm starting to realize, is pretty darn soon. Think of some ideas in your off time, alright?
Okay.
We'll announce the terms before we climb.
Okay. With a smirk and a wink, he quickly runs off on his way. Full of energy, it seems. Or perhaps he's going stir-crazy. I don't blame him though, being stuck on sea with nothing else to do. I guess our goal was clear. We'd climb the great tree. That is, if we even made it back from Alarynthia in one piece. His ability to focus on the positive stuff during war is admirable. Admirable, if not a bit naive. Hopefully, I could join his positivity. But this blade on my back, both literally and figuratively, weighs me down. I might leave it on the surface when we climb. Yeah, that will make things easier. A lot easier. Fortim's loyalty scene is now available when you return to the mainland. Woo! The game will notify you when you have access to the loyalty scene system. Loyalty scenes can be initiated by clicking that character in the war table. Cool. And Ulrich time. I make my way down the ship cabin and see Ulrich sitting on a bed. At least whatever passes for a bed aboard a somewhat cramped ship. He's sharpening his sword, clearly exerting himself as he does.
Hey there, Monarch. As you can see, I'm getting ready for combat. I give it 2 days before we are dragged into conflict. They don't use words to resolve things in Alarynthia. It's always a duel or a tournament. That's all they do. When we are there, we might as well speak their language.
He smirks, as if the promise of action is exciting to him. He did hate Alarynthia, but he also loved combat. It was his nature. Hopefully he get to tackle a challenge worthy of his skill while we were there.
Gotta make the most of a bad situation, right? I'll get to give my sword arm a real challenge. What about you, Monarch? Excited for this?
Of course, can't wait to secure that alliance. Fighting side by side with you? That's a dream come true. Yeah, marching into a certain death? Born ready. I wish we wouldn't have to resort to violence, Ulrich. I could go either way. It is what it is. It is what it is. Of course, I can't wait to secure an alliance.
That's the spirit. We're going to make history. I really hope we can help Vivian and change the nation. As you know, that's been my dream for the longest time. It's nice to know that her movement actually has some traction. If only my parents were so lucky. I bet they'd be proud, Monarch. The foe may seem impossible to beat, but I have a feeling we can do it. That is, if we even get the opportunity to side with Vivian. If we get stuck with Dracu, I have to admit that I'll be disappointed. We'd get our alliance, but at the end of the day, Alarynthia would be the same. But I'm guessing you didn't come down here for a lecture. Have a seat. There's something I'd like to talk to you about.
I nod and sit down beside him. He continues sharpening his sword, and I watch. I must have gotten worn out during the battle back at HQ.
I don't want to scare you, and I'm not really hiding anything. But we're about to go to my homeland. You might hear things. Can you promise me something, Monarch? No matter what happens?
Sure?
Remember me for the things I've done for you and the rebellion. No matter what you hear about me or my past, please, don't judge me. I wouldn't judge you based on your past, so I expect the same from you.
Oh, I'll try. I nod. I can afford him that courtesy, as long as he's not hiding anything heinous. But he doesn't seem like the type. He truly devotes his life to the same cause as me.
Good. Then that's pretty much everything I had to say. I was really worried. I wasn't sure how to handle that topic. So rather than overthinking it, I just shot straight. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was especially hard since you're such a powerful figure. I'd hate to get on your bad side, so I need to be fully open. I have a few secrets, as we all do, but nothing really bad.
Oh, then you probably had nothing to worry about.
If you don't find out in Alarynthia, I'll probably tell you myself. In fact, maybe it would mean more if it came directly from me. Sorry, I must sound stupid. I'm not really good at this kind of stuff.
Sounds like the loyalty conversation.
Talking about myself is hard. It definitely helps to get drunk. But ale was something they didn't think to pack for this voyage. Maybe I'll pull some strings so the ride back can be more lively.
Good. He gives me another one of those trademark smirks. I get the feeling that he really uses alcohol as a social crutch. He's much more open and lively while under the influence. Is that bad? I mean, I do the same thing, so... I guess it's not in my place to say, as long as it doesn't get in the way of his duty. I mean, I almost did it sometimes when I recorded videos before. When I was playing Abros, I think. I used to have like a little drink before just to let go of nerves. Something told me that our visit to Alarynthia would put him in the spot more than ever. I get up from the bed and turn around to face him. He continues working on his sword.
Sorry I didn't have much to say. I guess I'm a little shy. But it'll all make sense in time. I can promise you that. When that time comes, you need to keep your promise.
Yeah. He's really pushing this promise thing. Should I be concerned? I'd hate for him to use it as leverage if some horrible secret came to light. Thankfully, I see Ulrich as a good person. He wouldn't hide anything bad from us. Or would he? Like he said, it will all make sense in time. All I can really do is to go about my businesses and wait. Suddenly, I am more excited about our journey to Alarynthia. Both Alestia and my comrades were slowly opening up to me. In the last few days, everything had changed. What else would change? That thought fills me with both excitement and fright at the same time. Okay, Valessa. I step towards Valessa, who has her hand on the ship's railing. She seems lost in thought, but who wouldn't have been after recent events? Careful not to startle her, I simply stand beside her and rest my hands too.
You know, for once I thought things were going well. We had an army, and it seemed like our objective was clear. But they outsmarted us. They caught us off guard. We were careless. They always say to be cautious if things are going too well, especially in war. We got blinded by the victory we thought we secured.
Yeah.
Nobody thought to question our course of action, or Darmic's orders. And to top it all off, you don't need a scribe anymore. Vortim gets to lead our nation, and I'm left with nothing?
Alright.
That's hardly fair. Now I have no idea what to do with myself. I just wish things could be clear, like they used to be. If things were difficult, our future was certain. We don't even know if we can secure this alliance.
Don't worry, Valessa. We'll make things work out. My future is clear as long as you're by my side. You're right, everything seems so scary and uncertain. Hey, it could be worse. We could have died in the attacks. I can understand what you're going through, Valessa. Don't worry, Valessa. We'll make things out. Or maybe she would do the flirty thing just because. I mean, we did a little flirty with no, they were friendly.
I want to believe you, but I'm just not sure. We thought things would work out back at the Rebel HQ. Look how that turned out, Monarch. We were reckless.
Seer. Please call me Seer.
I don't want to sound mean, but I don't share those thoughts. It's important to take a step back and look at the big picture. That way, you don't get blinded and act based on your ego.
She lets out a loud sigh and stares off into the horizon. The slow rocking of the ship pushes us together. With the distance closed, I can hear her more clearly. There's definitely more in her mind, I can tell. But I can't force it to open up, so I stand there in silence. My ears are open to her as long as she decides to speak.
I was so lost in thought, I couldn't sleep last night. I decided to help Nada prepare the ship for our voyage. We got to talking, and she told me something shocking. I'm not even sure if I should tell you this, Monarch, but I guess it's something you deserve to know. Remember how those people recognized us?
Oh, yes. She must be talking about Grease and Grayson. They both recognized us when we first met.
They recognized us too. Immediately. I assumed it's because they knew our parents. But then they told me how they knew them.
They were pirate lords! Right? She closes her eyes and looks up into the sky.
Our parents were pirates, Monarch. Feared, hated, legendary pirates. Sure explains their trips to Museo.
Mm-hmm.
At first I didn't believe it. I was lost in denial, but he kept telling me more, and I had to accept it. I always pictured our parents as these perfect, untarnished people.
Aww.
But they were killers. They broke the law. They pillaged. They were part of the reason the Triumvirate launched the occupation. I know what you're going to say. They wanted the idol. Piracy was a cover.
Oh?
And while you may be right, the excuse was still valid. At the end of the day, piracy was running rampant throughout Museo. Our parents played a part in giving them this perfect excuse. Don't you see? And in doing so, they are partly responsible for all of those deaths. We always thought they were innocent victims. But were they really? Honestly, I doubt I'll be doing much sleep tonight either, Monarch.
Oh, she lets out another sigh, even more exasperated than the last one.
Let's sum it up, shall we?
Okay.
There's no more spirit realm. Our belief system was shattered. Almost the entire rebellion was killed in action. We were tricked. And to top it all off, I'm the daughter of some ruthless pirate killers.
Yay.
How am I supposed to process all of this? How will you? Your parents, my parents, Fortune's parents, all 6 of them. They're not the people we thought they were. What do we do?
All we can do is be better people than they were. Say nothing and hold her hand. Brag about it, of course. That's pretty awesome. I don't know. Let's play it by ear. Should we hold her hand? Maybe? We couldn't hold Darmic's hand, so maybe we try hold the Valessa's hand. Without saying anything, I step closer and hold her hand. She grips it tightly as they both rest on the wooden rails of the ship. Moments later, however, she takes a few steps closer to me. Placing her head on my shoulder, she wraps her free arm around mine. Hugging it tightly, I can feel her tremble as emotions well up within her. How she's feeling is understandable. She's going through so much right now.
I'm just so lost, Monarch.
Honestly, part of me feels the same way. We stare off into the ocean, together. This was a turning point in all of our lives. How we handled things would define who we became. Our conversation ended with that thought. bringing both hope and despair. Oh, okay, Pro, you're up last. Why is every conversation so sad? I see Pro sitting at one of the beds, striking a match. He uses it to light some nearby candles, creating a laid-back atmosphere. The candle slowly fills the crew quarters with a sweet aroma. Very relaxing.
Hey there, Monarch. Perfect timing, actually. I wanted to talk to you.
Oh, did you now?
We were supposed to have a date, right? I mean, we wanted to see if we, click, or whatever. I'm glad we decided to start slow, without making mistakes.
Yeah.
So, wanna have a seat? We can get things started. The candles are supposed to be relaxing, something about aromatherapy. I never really looked into it, but I'm scared of water, so I needed help.
I need help. I sit down beside Pro on the bed. Already one fact richer. So he was scared of water, huh? He mustn't be having much fun. It makes me wonder what else I didn't know about him. He's a mystery.
You should tell me about yourself, Monarch. And this is because I'm genuinely interested, I swear. Whatever you tell me, I'll never write down in any books.
Oh, so sweet.
That's what friends do, right? Confide in each other? I know I always talk about writing books and conducting interviews, but the truth is, this time, I want to keep things between the two of us.
Oh, okay, let's talk. I nod and tell him a random fact about myself. Nothing harmful, just small. He smiles, and we start to exchange facts about each other. The pressure to not write any of this down and treat me like a subject must be relieving.
Everyone always treats me with such apprehension, you know? Like, anything they tell me, I'll turn around and use it against them.
No.
That is a part of my business, but it's not like I want to do things that way. I hope people don't treat me that way after the war is over. I'm quitting this swindler's life as soon as I get the chance. I'll still write, but I won't use information as a weapon. Ever. Instead, I'll use it to help those in need. You know, I've done it before and it feels good. Information can either be a sharp knife or a warm embrace. Weird metaphor, I know. But like I said, I'm no fiction writer. I prefer to focus on stuff that's real, like people and their actions. They ripple outwards, affecting people in ways they'd never know. Of course, that's something that applies to normal people. There's nothing normal about you, Monarch. No offense, of course. You're going to be in charge of the entire world after this war is over.
Yeah. Whoa. Talk about putting the pressure on. Pro senses this and changes the subject.
Can I tell you a little secret? Maybe it'll make you see things differently. You know, so you won't picture me as a bad person. I can tell that a lot of people do, even if they don't say it. But all I'm doing is helping Darmic win this war in the best way I can. It's not my fault I'm like this. All I can do is play with the hand I've been dealt.
That's what oh my god, that's what happened in the vision. The vision when I touched the sword, and it was Pro, and he had the sword, and he stabbed me, and he was like...
Don't worry, nothing personal. Just playing with the hand I've been dealt.
What? He smiles, but suddenly a wave of fear overtakes my entire body. I shut my eyes tightly as the last phrase echoes through my mind. Where did I hear that before? Oh right! During my vision! When I first touched the Blade of Exodus, back in Valley North, the series of vision ended with me getting stabbed by a man. A man that, unfortunately, I'm now able to identify as Pro. He lets out a loud sigh and slowly rests his hand on top of mine. A few moments later, he intertwines his finger with mine, smiling. My heart beats incredibly fast as this revelation processes itself. What was going on, and why would he do that?
There was this little boy who got abandoned by his parents. He didn't know why, and that hurt him so much. Maybe they just didn't want him. But why? What did he ever do to them? It made no sense, and he hated that. He had to grow up on the streets, living on the scraps that other people threw away. It wasn't just his parents, you know. It almost seemed like nobody wanted him at all. That just made things worse. Can you imagine feeling unwanted by the world?
As he starts telling me this story, the anxiety slowly dissipates. Probe was a swindler, right? Maybe he was just pretending to kill me? That's what I was hoping as well. I don't think Probe could hurt me. There must be a deeper meaning here. Also, I wonder in like 2 or 3 episodes ago when we were when we got to the HQ, I think, we had like a vision like wow with the white light, and we saw the silhouette of Fortem for some reason. Oh, Jesus scared me. The character in the game, like the character never mentioned anything about it. It just happened, and then the story just went on as it did. And I'm also curious what that was about. So yeah.
He started to pick up on people's secrets. You know, just little things. After a while, he found out that people would pay anything to learn these secrets. As a teenager, he used this ability to live a luxurious life of gluttony and sloth.
And became fat.
He knew secrets that could topple cities or destroy people's relationships. But none of that gave him satisfaction, because there was one thing he never knew. Why his parents abandoned him. Why they didn't want him. Did he deserve it? It was too humiliating to admit, so he made up another story. His parents died during the occupation. That was much less embarrassing. Everybody believed him, and that helped him fit in with a new group of people. This new group of people, the rebellion, wanted to use his skills for good. They accepted him with open arms, which is something nobody had ever done before. He knew he found his place in the world, and since then, he served his new family. He keeps prodding the locals for information, picking up all sorts of secrets. He wants to know why people do the things they do, and what motivates them. He does this so nobody has to suffer like he did. Simply not knowing the reason.
I notice he starts to get sad, and tears are forming in his eyes. No! He's talking about himself. He's the boy in the story. I can tell. Perhaps telling me as if it were a story made it easier for him.
So everybody thinks this guy is bad. A blackmailer and a swindler. He might be right, but it's just how he grew up. He had no control. He had nobody to show him how to act. Nobody to care or love him. At least, until now.
Oh, that's sweet. He squeezes my hand tighter and then sits up on the bed. Resting on his knees, he makes sure that his face is level to mine.
I'm sure you've already guessed it, but the boy is me. Every action has a reason. Even mine, as bad as the actions are. I only want to see my parents again, face to face, and ask them.
Aww.
Why did they hate me? Why did they throw me away like garbage? If they weren't proud of me, are they proud now? I'd do anything to learn where they are right now. Follow any order, take any course of action. I hope you can understand, Monarch.
Yeah, I do. I think. I nod and raise my free hand to stroke the side of his face. He lets out a soft gasp in response and looks directly in my eyes.
Thank you.
Bro. I lean closer, lowering my hand down to his side. We kiss, and I can feel him trembling softly, as if he's shy. A single tear trails from his eyes, and as our lips press together. What is so sweet? And why is everything purple all of a sudden? What the hell is going on? My eye is purple. What the fuck? Oh well, don't have time for that. No matter what happened, he'd always be welcome at my side. Cute. We continue to kiss, the sweet scent of the candle slowly filling the room. The perfect atmosphere, the perfect mood to express our feelings to one another. Oh, we're ending the episode there, guys. This is so cute. Oh my god. Okay, I honestly have no idea why everything is purple right now. I don't know if I managed to color correct it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. And oh my god, that part was so fucking cute. I die. If you enjoyed us, I don't know, did I say it? Enjoyed, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Patreon, Discord. I love you. Thank you again for 8k. Let's hit 10k as soon as possible. I won't record any more episodes today. I will wait a few days. Maybe wait till the previous episode is uploaded before recording the next one. So, as usual, guys, remember that you are loved and appreciated. And you should be proud of who you are. Because I want to see you in the next episode. Bye! Oh my god, that made everything worse! Now everything is purple!